Good morning and welcome to Strassenfest Live here for those of you watching on 18 WJTS and for those of you listening on 100.9 FM WBDC. I'm your host, Ty Hunter. First, we want to thank our sponsors on the radio for making this possible. They include Carpet Warehouse, American Dream Montel Realty, Ernie Sheet Metal, Industrial Tools Sales and Service, Circle A and Ackerman Oil, Masterbrand Cabinets, and Gudorf Supply. On television, we want to thank EJ and Dots, Ubler Developments and their family of companies, Ferdinand Farmers Mutual, Barclays Hearing and Aid Center, Ackerman Oil and Circle A, Ubler & Sons, Chevrolet, Jasper Lumber, and Remax Local. Strassenfest Live. Tonight, the opening ceremony, 6:15 in downtown Jasper for the 40th Jasper Strassenfest. 40 years of memories. The best is yet to come. I am joined with this year's chairman, the one and only Mr. Mike Ackerman. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Ty. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate being here. And to you, Willkommen, 40, I lost my train of thought here.
I struggle enough with English.
Willkommen beim 40 Strassenfest.
So
I'll get it. It all happens, but by golly, it's all good. So thanks for having us on here each year as you do. It's a great opportunity for us to come out and promote the fest, and for our young people that were recently crowned as royalty to get their first television appearance for many of them. So we certainly appreciate all of that you do for us. I want to welcome everyone to the Jasper Strassenfest. Things kick off this evening on the square with opening ceremony starting at 6:15. Leading up to that, if you'd like to come in early, we're going to have our box parade that starts at 5:30, and we will have the celebration singers providing some music for us in advance. So please come on down to the square. We've got a lot of special things planned for this year's opening ceremony that's going to roll back to some of our German heritage. We're involving youth from the elementary school with maypole dance. We're involving high schoolers with some special German dances, a cuckoo type dance, and as a Willkommen opening song, and also a Schuhplattler or slap dance to tie it all together. So a lot of neat things planned. Please come down and join us. If you have German like me, wear it. Show your pride and come on down and see us.
And again, there'll be the Bürgermeister proclamation with Mayor Terry Seitz, and of course they'll ceremoniously carry that beer keg and the bratwurst down to the beer garden to officially start the fest.
Absolutely, and please join us for that procession. It's your opportunity to get your one free beer and your free bratwurst there in the beer garden during that initial celebration.
40 years of memories. This has been a long time coming. It's been 40 years coming to this point. The Strassenfest means so much to so many people, and not just in Jasper, but the surrounding area, really even larger than Du Bois County. The Strassenfest has become, but as we throw it back 40 years ago, for those committee members that are going to be honored this year for the Jasper Strassenfest.
Thanks for that lead-in, Ty. So our Hof Marshal, which is our Grand Marshal of our festival this year, is the original 1979 committee members for the Strassenfest. And it was because of that committee's foresight and great foundation of policies that they put in place that has allowed our fest to not just survive, but to thrive and grow and truly become a regional powerhouse in southern Indiana for festivals.
And I doubt that any of those committee members had any idea just how big the Strassenfest would become.
And I can attest to that, I'm sure, as we went around and did some interviews with those folks up front. A lot of them had stories of running extension cords from businesses that were on the square and water hoses from businesses on the square, and just trying to keep it and get a good start. But it has sure been a great run, and their efforts have paid off tremendously.
Mike, why do you think the Strassenfest has become what it has? What has caused this to be such an event?
So I want to give credit for that beyond the original committee to the work of the committee that does and puts this thing together each and every year. You've got a talented group of people. This year, I believe there's 16 on our committee that do a wonderful job of each one planning their own piece and their own part of the event to bring great entertainment, great events, great food, a wonderful pageant. So it's through the efforts of many that allows this to occur. But beyond that, I think what's important is that we try to stay somewhat true to our roots. It is a German festival that celebrates our German heritage. So I believe that because we try to stay true to those roots and continue to celebrate that is what helps our fest be successful.
You have people that come back each and every year. You have people that come from all over the country and beyond for the Jasper Strassenfest. There's a lot of class reunions held this weekend. There's people that don't necessarily come home for Christmas, but they come home for the Jasper Strassenfest.
And that's very, very true. We see that a lot with folks that if they have to split time, oftentimes the split time to come to Jasper is the Strassenfest because it is such a big event, draws so many people. They get to see way more of their friends than what they might see at Christmas. So we're very thankful for this thing to have grown the way that it has.
Let's talk food. Let's talk Strassenfest food.
Well, it's if you're hungry, if you go away hungry, it's your own fault. There's no reason to go away hungry from the Strassenfest. We have such a wide variety of great festival food that there's just no way not to do that. From our German stand that does the Bratwurst, Knockwurst, Wiener Schnitzel, we've got
that stays open as long as they need to.
Absolutely. We try to be there till the last person comes out of that beer garden to be able to get their hunger needs fed and take good care of them. But, you know, beyond that, we've got elephant ears, we've got lemonade shake-ups, we've got big giant tenderloins, large fish sandwiches, pizza, corn on the cob, turkey tenders. Celestine's in there with big plates of barbecued chicken, fried chicken. There's just almost
cookie.
Something for everyone. The giant cookie, absolutely. You can never forget that.
You can't let you miss that.
Absolutely.
Now, this year, though, there's a new booth that everybody's really excited for, the Du Bois County Humane Society, which, by the way, that's one thing that makes the Strassenfest so special, is all the booths are nonprofits.
That's a good plug there. And that was part of the foresight of that original committee to help keep this thing going. It's really the nonprofits that run our booths and our events that get the opportunity to make money to put back into the community, and that's so important. The Strassenfest committee really serves as a host of the party, and while it's necessary for us to take money for insurance and entertainment and utilities and things of that nature, it's really the nonprofits that run all of the booths that are very important for them to be there and for you to support them so that we can keep this community going. So you had mentioned the Humane Society.
Yes, the Humane Society.
So the Humane Society took over one of the booths, and they have a new offering this year. Everyone knows that pretzels mean German, and they're going to have some really cool big pretzels there at the Humane Society booth. So they're on the south side of the square near our west side stage. Go see them. First year, they're going to love to have you. The other new addition is that the Elephant Ear booth has transitioned from one nonprofit organization to another, and the new organization is bringing out shish kebabs. So this is a first or a new thing for the Strassenfest as well. So another new food group. Have fun.
Again, like Mike said, if you leave the Strassenfest hungry, that's your fault. There's so much to eat, but there's so much to do. And again, we'll be talking about some of the events with the event chairman and things a little bit later on here during Strassenfest Live. But there is really something for everyone at the Jasper Strassenfest.
It really is. And, you know, I would be remiss to say that a German festival can't be a German festival if it doesn't have a wonderful beer garden, and I believe we have one of the best. But over and beyond that, it is absolutely family-oriented with something for everyone of all ages. And the best part of all of it, almost everything is free. It is no charge to see our entertainment. It is no charge to participate in some of the events. It is about as good a deal as you're ever going to get. There's no charge for parking. You got to walk a little bit. But you know what? After you eat all that festival food, you need a walk.
That is certainly true. Now, as we talk about the events chairman and the entertainment chairman, we got to give a shout out to the committee because Mike, as the chairman, the president, the chairman, the big cheese, you take all the glory, but it's really the other people that make this fest so important, and they work year round. It's almost a full-time job putting on something of this magnitude each and every year.
It really is, and you know, we, as I had mentioned earlier, we're so blessed to have great and dedicated committee members that do this stuff. And if I can take the time to acknowledge each of them on the air, I would really appreciate that. So on our committee this year, we've got two folks from the Jasper Chamber of Commerce, Nancy Eckerly and Janet Beckman. These folks are vitally important to us to keep us on track and everything moving in the same direction, and a great place for us to have that tie back to. Advertising and opening ceremonies, community relations is Bob Blamel from WITZ. booths is Corey Schwartz from North Spencer School Corporation. Corey's been doing that for a number of years, does a wonderful job. A new entertainment chair this year, Heath Klimper from Service, took over from Gary and Marcia Schnell. Heath has a blockbuster lineup that we're going to let him tell you about, but Heath's doing a wonderful job for us this year. One of the things he did was design a new poster that hopefully you've seen around town. We think a lot of the work that Heath is doing. Gary Schnell has stayed on with us to help with some special projects under construction and logistics. Russell Gent joined us a couple years ago to help with that. Nick Huffman is our events chair. Nick is in his second year. Nick's been doing a great job for us. We have 3 ladies that do a wonderful job with our pageant. Sheila Beck, Darla Blasey, and Becky Hickman of the City of Jasper and German American Bank. So we certainly appreciate all of their efforts to make a truly memorable pageant for these folks. And website is Ben Potter. Social media is Shelby Hedinger. Sponsorship, Patrick Norris leads that up for us. And our Jasper Deutsche Verein representative is Steve Schmidt. So again, we thank these people so much.
Hats off to the committee who work really hard to put something on of this magnitude. Anywhere 60,000 people converge on Jasper for this weekend. So there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and those people certainly need our thanks for putting this on each and every year.
Absolutely. So if you see somebody, and I didn't bring my special badge along this morning, but the big buttons you'll see a nice ribbon coming below it. So if you see somebody like that walking around, they're either a past committee member from the 1979 committee or someone on the current committee. Make a point to let them know that you appreciate all the work that they do.
By the way, these buttons, these are, when the Strassenfest started, they had 2 sizes of buttons. They had the smaller one that everyone's familiar with, and they had a larger one, which is this one here. So as this being the 40th anniversary, decided to bring the big button back as well.
We did, and it's there are a limited supply of those. They've been available at the Jasper Chamber of Commerce office up until this time, and they will be available in the information booth, but again, it is a limited supply. The small ones are still only $5, and that gets you into the beer garden, and it's a great way to show your pride for the Jasper Strassenfest and to help support us. The larger one is only $10, and it will get you into all the places that the small one gets you into as well.
And it lights up.
And there's a little bitty LED in the middle of that ruby that lights up and flashes. So if you want to be able to shine your light and be the beacon for your group, you need a big button.
And we highly suggest, whether you're planning on participating in the beer garden festivities or not, to please buy a button, because that really goes back into the Strassenfest itself, enable them to do more and be even bigger.
Absolutely. It's through all the support that we get that enables us to have the great entertainment that we have at the Strassenfest. It's all free.
Mike, 2 things I want to ask you. Your favorite part of Strassenfest and what Strassenfest means to you.
So, being a traditionalist, my favorite part of Strassenfest is the opening ceremonies. I really enjoy seeing it all come together. I like the procession down and the initial tapping of the keg in the beer garden. I think we're going to have some great things in opening ceremonies this year that's going to tie into that. And then beyond that, on Thursday evenings, there's a log sawing contest. So again, very traditional. It's a lot of fun, and I failed miserably the first time I did it, but you know what? Come on out and do it. It's a free event, and it's fun to do. What does Strassenfest mean to me? So Strassenfest to me is really a great celebration of our heritage and of our city. It's an opportunity for us to show our city off and let people see all of the great things that are going on at Jasper. It's an opportunity for our people and our citizens who are so welcoming to welcome guests to our city. That's one of the comments that I've heard when I go around and do some of these things, is that folks love to come to Jasper because the people here are friendly and very welcoming. So if you see someone that seems like they need a little help, introduce yourself and be that welcoming ambassador for our city. It's so important, and it means so much to our guests.
One final question that I ask each and every guest here on Strassenfest Live is, as I'm a food guy, and I know where this is going with you, but favorite Strassenfest food?
It has to be a bratwurst.
They're at the German Club booth.
Jasper Deutsche Verein has the world's greatest bratwurst that man has ever laid eyes on. Absolutely.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Mike Ackman, he is the chairman this year of the Jasper Strassenfest. Anything last you want to say before we kick you out of here and bring our next guest in?
That's fine. The only thing I'm going to throw out here yet is what our theme is. So many of you have probably heard this on the radio already, but it's 40 Jahre Erinnerungen, das Best kommt noch. which is 40 years of memories. The best is yet to come. And we truly believe that as this thing continues to grow, that it's going to continue to evolve and get bigger and better as time goes on. Thank you so much, Ty, for having us.
Mike Ackerman, this year's chairman of the Strassenfest committee. We've got plenty more guests on the way. I believe we're going to have royalty here in the studios next, so stay tuned. You're watching Strassenfest live on 18 WJTS and listening on the radio, 100.9 FM WBDC. Back after this. Welcome back to Strassenfest Live. For those of you watching on 18 WJTS and those of you listening on the radio, 100.9 FM WBDC. I'm your MC for Strassenfest Live, Ty Hunter. I'm joined in the studio with royalty. First of all, please welcome your 2018 Jasper Strassenfest Queen, Hannah Rydberg, and the chairman of the pageant, Becky Hickman.
Good morning, Ty.
Good morning, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hannah, first of all to you, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a crazy week, but definitely a week of awesome people congratulating me and planning all the amazing events that we're going to be doing at the fest.
You had like a late night study session with your first runner-up to kind of go over, to make sure you know where to be and what events you want to hit.
Yes, we finally finalized our schedule, and we planned for all the royalty to be greeting everyone at the fest, trying out all the new Ruby events that we're going to be having with live music, and also getting a ton of food, which is what we talked about on the radio station too.
That's true. Let's go back to the pageant, though, before we start with your duties over the next couple of days. Becky, you have been the chairwoman for years and do such a fine job. But first of all, let's talk about this pageant itself. How important is the Queen pageant to these young ladies?
I think it's very important, Ty. You know, it's just one of the things in excuse me, their life. We talk about interviewing skills. We sit down, and so we prepare them to have an interview with three judges. Mm-hmm. And for the rest of their life, they will be interviewing either for scholarships for college, to get into college, or jobs. Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty very important. That is nearly 50%, nearly half of the points earned is the interview. And so we really want the girls to be themselves, genuine, sit down and have a good conversation with the judges. We also teach confidence and stage poise, which is also important because every day of our life we will be in front of people, whether it's one-on-one, in front of a stage, in front of an audience. And so I think that's very important as well. And impromptu. So we have an impromptu question, and I'll let Hannah talk about her question that she received and her answer. But that's important. Just like we're here today, I don't know what questions you're going to ask me, and so having
I don't either.
And just being prepared to have that conversation and answer those questions is important. I think probably within 15 minutes after Hannah won, she had cameras in front of her face asking her live what it meant to her and what she was going to be doing. So I think that's important.
And the Strassenfest Queen has such a big job, and you're really an ambassador for the Strassenfest itself. So when you are looking for that individual that is going to be representing the Jasper Strassenfest, what are some of the qualities that the judges are looking for?
So they're looking for someone, number one, who can communicate, that can have a conversation. They're not giving one-word answers or just short sentences. They're looking for someone who really appreciates and understands Jasper and the community that we have here, because they are out and about. I was in French Lick last night and had a conversation about the Strassenfest, and so that's what the ambassador does they coordinate all the royalty, so they communicate with the contest, the little booths, and say, okay, how do you want me to be assistance to you this evening at this event? And then they coordinate the rest of their court to do that. So we look for someone who also can move on to the Indiana State Festivals Association pageant, which the Jasper Strassenfest is a part of, and there's additional scholarships again. So they, at that level, that's not the most important. We want them to be Jasper, and so all 6 of those contestants Saturday are good. They're wonderful. They are grown up. That's the wonderful beauty of Jasper is we take pride in our kids and help them to grow and mature and appreciate community service, which Hannah will talk about in just a moment, and giving back to the community. And so any 6 of them would have been a great Miss Strassenfest. It just happened to be Hannah's day. She rised in the interview on stage, and here she is.
I think you could tell within just a couple minutes of talking to Hannah herself why she's this year's queen. But first of all, Hannah, congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Now let's go back to the pageant for you personally. What made you decide to be a part of this?
So Becky Hickman was what decided
We'll throw it
for
back to
me
Becky
to
again.
be
Okay.
in the Strassenfest, and she is such an amazing person who pushed all these girls to decide to get out of their comfort zone and to join, because it is a really nerve-wracking thing, no matter how confident or outgoing you are, to stand in front of a bunch of people in your community and answer questions or go into an interview with strangers you don't know. But I feel like our community does such an amazing job of making people excited and supporting people and having each other's backs. And so all those people in the audience that night were so supportive to us 6 girls, and like Becky said, any 6 of them would have been such an amazing job at doing this job. And I'm so happy that I got to be such closer friends to them. So
How did it feel when they announced your name?
it was crazy. I looked at my best friend Hillary, who got first runner-up, and I was like, this is crazy. But I would have been so happy for any of those girls to get missed. And I was just excited to be on the court again as photogenic. But I am so excited, and I'm so excited to get to spend it with my other court that you'll meet later on, and just all the girls, and just have a ton of fun.
I love that story because your childhood best friend is
Yes.
your first runner-up. You guys entered together, and you really couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
Right? No, I'm so excited to get to serve with Hillary and get to have such a supportive first runner-up, because it is a lot of stress and it is a lot of work to be planning all these Excel sheets on where people are going to be, what time, and being responsible for so much. And getting to have a first runner-up that's just nothing but supportive to me and helping me. It's been such an amazing time.
Now, did you have a moment when you woke up the next morning where you forgot that you were queen and had to see the tiara maybe on your nightstand and go, oh my goodness, I'm the Strassenfest queen?
Yes, I was like, oh yeah, this is just every other day. And then
That
I was
wasn't
like,
a dream.
wait, no, I have to meet Becky at 1 o'clock to discuss everything. And I was like, this is actually real.
So what are some of your duties over the next couple of days?
So we don't just sit on the parade and wave. So we actually go out and we have to just greet everyone, be an ambassador. We are actually, one of our first things is we're going to take photos at the Jasper City Mill. And then we're going to go over to the box parade, which is always a great time. It's always so cute with all the cardboard
Very
parade
creative
things.
kids in this area.
For sure. And then we're actually going to open up the entire ceremony with a new thing this year, which is called the Maypole Dance. And that's a traditional German celebration to open up the Strassenfest and really support the 40 years that we have been doing this tradition, to start off on a new tradition, so starting with new to old. So
Now, I know from talking to you on the radio earlier this week that another event tonight, one of your favorites, and that's Log Song.
yes, so me and Hillary are going to try our very best at succeeding in the log sawing contest, but I invite everyone to come out and be a little bit of competition for us, because it's genuinely a fun event that you can all laugh at yourselves at trying to saw this log in half.
Now, other than the Log Song contest, what are some events that you personally are really looking forward to over the Strassenfest?
For sure. I think everyone really looks forward to the hot air balloon race. That's always really, really fun. I'm looking forward to the pet show contest. I have a golden retriever and a wiener dog, and he is the cutest thing ever. So I'm excited to bring him along with my court. And my junior miss is actually dressing up her chicken in a German hat. So you got to come out and see that.
All right, favorite Strassenfest food?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask this
Right,
one.
always
That
fun.
one's really hard. Well, I got to go with the German side of me on a brat, because you got to go there, you go get a brat, you go get your lemonade shake up, you got to go get a big cookie, in this year's case, the Humane Society cookies, and you just got to shop around a little. I know everyone likes the chicken tenderloins, and just kind of figure out what works for you. That's why you got to bring a ton of cash. Just try everything once. That's the way to go with Strassenfest.
Becky, favorite Strassenfest food? You knew it was coming.
Oh my. So every evening I think I have something different. So I think Thursday evening is the brat night, and Friday night is the big cookie. I like the chicken dinners as well. I can't pick just one, because it's every night I have to go get some. And the fun thing is, on Friday, the food booths, some of the food booths are open for lunch. And so we get an extra meal in there.
Which is nice. You get extra time to choose.
And so that's always
'Cause you
fun.
can only fit so much food, and you want to try a little bit of everything.
For sure. So you got to plan it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, that's fun.
I think that's unique to the Strassenfest, and I talk to a lot of people that say the same thing, that they have their days planned out as far as the food that they're going to be trying this year.
And you have to feel great about doing it too, because you're eating for a good cause, because you're supporting all these organizations around Jasper and all these community events.
That makes me feel a lot better of the 15 pounds I plan on.
Right? There you go. Because you're like, I'm doing it for a good cause. No one can judge me. I'm going out and getting good food for a good cause.
Absolutely.
And I think you just changed my life.
There you go.
I'm supporting a good cause when I gorge myself.
Just keep reminding yourself that.
Well, Hannah, congratulations to you. I got one final question before you go, and I'll let Becky say what she's got to say. What does Strassenfest mean to you?
Well, Strassenfest has been a part of my life for my entire life. I've been born and raised in Jasper. I got to really grow up on it, and it's been just a moment about connecting with your community. Food and all the events aside, it's a time of year that everyone comes out, no matter what stage of life you're at, no matter what kind of group you're in. Everybody sees each other on the square in the Strassenfest, supporting their community, building up their community, and really showing pride for what we're all about. And so I just think that it's an amazing thing that you don't find very many places. When I went away to college, it's not like many towns have this amount of unity and tradition and just love for each other. And I really respect that about Jasper. And it's really an amazing place, especially when you come around Strassenfest and see just the amount of support and love and appreciation that we have for all the hard work we do throughout the year.
That right there is why she is the 2018 Miss Strassenfest. Becky, I know we gave you a lot of the glory, especially on the radio earlier this week, but it wasn't just Becky. But there's so many people involved with the pageant that make it possible.
There is, Ty, and I do want to make sure that I thank those local merchants who support us. Before I get into that, though, I want Hannah to recognize the rest of her Miss Court.
Yes, which I will believe we'll be meeting some of them here.
Yes, you will. So Taylor Mitchell is our Miss Congeniality of this year. Melanie Patterson is our second runner-up. And then also we have Hillary Bauer for first runner-up. And then later on, you're going to meet Michelle Ondiak, which is your Junior Miss 2018. Then you're going to meet Ollie, and you're going to meet Victoria, which are our Junior Miss, which they are a Little Miss, which they are adorable.
Yeah. So back to the local merchants. Obviously, Hannah won a $1,000 scholarship, and Hillary won a $500 from the Strassenfest committee. So thank you for the Strassenfest committee for giving those scholarships. Helps pay for the college that they are attending. Dysinger Jewelers, they donate every year. So we had to switch with the flowers. Noel Fleck used to donate those, and as he retired this last year. But Janet with the Ivy Manor stepped up, and she's going to donate the flowers, and so we're pretty excited to continue our relationship with her in the future years.
This year.
They were very beautiful. German American Picture Perfect, Kim Messimer and her team. They come in and do all the makeup. They come in and do all the makeup for the interview and for the evening. Finishing touches, Orange Leaf, Just Whimsy, Glicks, Fantastic Sims, and I'm probably forgetting some. Fred Ralston, he has helped me for the last 15 years. He does the
He's a good guy.
He helps. And Redemption Church, they have just been fabulous
What
about.
a beautiful facility.
It is a beautiful facility. And then, Curtis Crow, he takes care of all the filming of it and then does some cropping and all of that. And so they're just a great team to work with there as well.
For anyone out there that may be listening or watching here on television, if anyone with a young daughter or young son as well that wants to pursue maybe being in the pageant, how do we go about that? When's kind of the timeline throughout the year that things will be looking for?
Yeah, so the applications are posted online for all four, so the Miss, Junior Miss, Little Miss, and Mr. Around the May 1st timeline. Sometimes they get out a little early. And so you choose for the Miss and the Junior Miss, you choose a nonprofit and you donate hours, and then you talk about that. Hannah?
I chose community meals this year, and I usually would be in the front with all of my church and the different activities that I would do, that I would volunteer there. But this year I definitely stuck to the back, and I got just as rewarding of an experience and met so many amazing people from it.
So the applications come out in the beginning of May, and there are some deadlines, obviously, because we have to get photos taken and record some videos and do the practices. But we teach you everything. You don't need to know anything.
You can go in not knowing anything.
Not know anything, and we'll teach you everything you need to know.
Becky's a wonder maker.
See, so much they shower love on you.
Oh, thank you. Back to Hannah and Ty.
Becky doesn't want the love, but she gets it. But Hannah, again, congratulations.
Thank
And
you so
obviously we could
much.
just by talking to you tell why you were chosen this year queen, and of course the rest of your court as well. We'll see you out and about at all the events throughout
Sounds
the weekend.
good.
You got quite a few events to get to, so you have some busy days ahead of you starting tonight.
I do, but I'm so excited to see everyone out at Fest, hopefully getting some good food, and I hope to see some contestants in the log sign contest tonight, just saying.
Opening ceremony is at 6:15. This is Becky Hickman, your chairperson for the Strassenfest pageant and your 2018 Jasper Strassenfest Queen, Anna Rydberg. Stay tuned. We've got more royalty, adorable royalty,
For sure.
coming up next on Strassenfest Live for those of you listening on 100.9 FM WBDC and for those of you watching on 18 WJTS back after this. And welcome back to Strassenfest Live for those of you watching on 18 WJTS and for those of you listening on 100.9 FM WBDC. I'm your host, Ty Hunter, for Strassenfest Live. Joining the studio with more royalty, please welcome your 2018 Jasper Strassenfest Junior Miss, Michelle Ondiak. Michelle, good morning.
Morning.
Also in the studio is our Junior Miss Pageant Coordinator, Darla Blasey.
Good morning.
First of all, Michelle, I want to talk to you. Congratulations. Let's go back to the pageant. And first of all, what made you decide that you wanted to enter this year's Jasper Strassenfest?
Well, my friend Hannah Cipher texted me and she was like, "Hey, Michelle, I think you should do the Junior Miss Strassenfest. I think you'll like it and you'll have so much fun." I was like, "Well, let me ask my mom and see if she'll let me do it." And so after I asked my mom, and she was like, "I think you should do it too. It's going to be so much fun for you." And so I did it, and then I had so much fun, and I enjoyed doing it.
So you never did anything like this before?
No.
So just on a whim, and look, now you're wearing the tiara.
Yeah.
So what are some things you learned by doing this pageant?
I learned to be confident and to talk. I was afraid of a lot of people. I learned how to stand on stage and talk to a lot of people.
And now you're here on television.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your duties this coming weekend, starting tonight, and of course the next couple of days for the Jasper Strassenfest. What are some things that you'll be doing?
I have to go to a lot of events during the Strassenfest, and they're not all at the square. They're different places throughout Jasper, and one of them is the Wet Loft. I have to hand out prizes at the Wet Loft, and I'm really excited.
Favorite food you're looking forward to trying over the next couple of days?
I want the big cookies.
Oh, yeah, me. See, I finally found somebody on my team.
I like those too.
Yeah, okay, 2 people on my team.
And tomorrow at lunch. Don't forget the booths are open tomorrow at lunch, so you
Yes.
can get a cookie at lunch.
Yes, so very good food over this weekend. And of
Yes.
course, now have you been working on your parade wave?
No.
I want to get that down. It's very important. Darla, let's talk to you. You're the chairperson there for the Junior Miss contest, which is very important for these young ladies that for the most part, almost all of them have really never been in front of somebody or an audience for sure.
Right.
And of course, with an interview process, just setting them up life skills that they'll take with them the rest of their life.
We tell the judges to kind of go easy on them because it is many of their first times ever participating in anything like that. But the skills that they learn through this process will help them throughout the rest of their life. So interviewing with strangers, definitely need that, especially as you go looking for a job, as you get a little bit older. That confidence and just self-awareness that they learn through the pageant, being on stage and having to speak in front of an audience, it's always a good experience.
How much fun is it for you and the rest of the committee that runs the pageants?
I tell you what, we have great contestants. Every year it amazes me. This group was smaller than we normally have, but they all got along so well. They were all laughing and having a great time the day of the contest. So it's really, they represent our community very well.
Michelle, first of all, how old are you?
I'm 13.
13 years old. So I know you're quite a few years off before deciding college, but do you have anything in mind that what you want to do?
I want to be a doctor or a nurse.
A doctor or a nurse, so in the medical field.
Yes.
So some of the things you learned at this pageant take on with you, but you also made some friends.
Yeah, I made a lot of friends.
So we'll be seeing you and the rest of the court, of course, during the Jasper Strassenfest. But Darla, it's not just you that puts it on. There's a lot of other people involved to put these,
There
make
are.
these pageants a success.
And Becky recognized a lot of the sponsors earlier when she was, talking. But we can't thank the community enough for all their sponsorship help throughout the pageant and throughout this weekend and throughout the year.
Now, next we have some very special royalty in here, and that is our juniors, our littles, which has got to be the most adorable pageant of all of them. Not to take away from yours
wanna be a judge for that
or
one.
Hannah's, but that has got to be one of the most adorable pageants, and we'll be talking with them just a little bit. Did you have anything else to add?
I wanted to give a shout out to her court that she
Yes.
has. So do you want to say him, or do you want me to say him? I've got him listed here. Catherine McCoy is our first runner-up, and she is the daughter of Stacy and William McCoy. Mallory Croft is the second runner-up, and her parents are Shelley Croft and Ben Croft. And then Amaya Kempf is our Miss Congeniality, and her parents are Erica and Chad Kempf.
All right, so a shout out to those, and they'll, of course, be presiding over this Strassenfest, which kicks off tonight. You've got opening ceremony duties tonight, Michelle?
Yes, I have to read about the maypole dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to seeing you then. I want to say congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And thank you for stopping by Strassenfest Live.
All right.
Coming up, we've got the Littles in here, so definitely stay tuned to Strassenfest Live here on 18 WJTS and 100.9 FM WBDC. Back after this. Welcome back to Strassenfest Live here on 18 WJTS, and for those of you listening on the radio, 100.9 FM WBDC. I'm joined in the studio with the Littles for the Jasper Strassenfest pageants. Please welcome our little miss and our little junior, Victoria and Oliver. Good morning.
Good morning.
Victoria, we're going to talk to you first.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
So why did you want to join this pageant?
Because I did it last year and I saw like all the rewards that the little miss and Mr. got, and it was still fun last year, but I really wanted to win. So I asked my mom if I could do it this year, and she said I could.
And you won.
Yeah.
Did that feel pretty good?
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
where do you go to school?
I go to school at Ireland Elementary.
What grade are you in?
4th.
4th grade at Ireland Elementary. So, what do you look forward to at the Jasper Strassenfest? What do you can't wait to do?
I can't wait to ride all the rides and have all the food.
Do you have a favorite food?
Not really. I like all of it.
All the food? You like all the food?
Yeah.
So, were you nervous during the pageant?
Yes, it was I was very nervous.
Very nervous. But it felt pretty good to win, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Oliver, where do you go to school?
Ireland Elementary.
Are you also in 4th grade?
No, I'm going into 2nd grade.
Going into 2nd grade.
Yep.
So, what made you decide you wanted to compete?
I didn't. My mom made me.
Your mom made you. Well, are you
Yeah.
glad she did, though?
Yeah.
Because you were the winner.
Yep.
So what are some of the things you had to do?
I just had to go up there and I guess answer the questions.
Answer the questions. Do you remember what question they asked you?
They asked me, what's your favorite part about the Strassenfest? And I said, the parade, because I get candy.
Now this year, I think you'll be handing out candy, won't you?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so.
Are you going to eat some on the way, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely would, too. Victoria, you looking forward to the parade as well?
Definitely.
All right. So what are some other things you're going to be doing this weekend? What are you looking forward to? Do you have a favorite food?
The big cookies.
Me too. That's 3 on the Thai team right now. The big cookies from the Toka Lake Sailing Club.
Yep.
What are some other things? Want to ride the rides?
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. Is this something that you plan on doing later on, Victoria, when you get to the junior miss age and even the queen?
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
Maybe by then we'll have a pageant for you too, Oliver.
Yeah.
So you guys excited at Strassenfest?
Yeah.
So you're going to be walking around waving to people?
Yeah.
Are you working on your parade waves?
Yep.
Victoria, you already got it down, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the Jasper Strassenfest kicking off tonight. Stay
Yep.
tuned. We've got more Strassenfest Live right here on 18 WJTS and 101 Country WBDC right after this. Welcome back to Strassenfest Live for those of you watching on 18 WJTS and those of you listening on 100.9 FM WBDC. I am joined in the studio with Heath. He is our entertainment chairman and a big job putting on the entertainment. First of all, we want to give a shout out to the past chairman, Gary and his wife, Marcia.
Yes.
For 10 years did just a fantastic job. And honestly, when I knew that they were planning on retiring, I didn't know if there's anyone out there crazy enough to want to take over that job, but they found somebody.
It would appear to be the case.
Heath Clipper is this year's entertainment chairman, and this is a humongous undertaking, putting on this much entertainment over the next couple of days.
Absolutely, and of course, being the 40th Strassenfest, there's some added pressure there.
Yeah, you had to make it just a little bit bigger.
It's true. So, but I like to think that we've got a pretty good lineup throughout the weekend. I think people are really going to enjoy, kind of the smattering of different acts that we've got coming through.
I got to give you a shout out. I'm going to pick this up off the floor. This is this year. You've probably seen it around at area businesses, but the poster was a big change this year. It looks a lot different than in years past.
Yeah, our one of our benefactors, Woods Printing, they've got a great team that kind of helped put together this lineup, this design, and I couldn't be happier with it. I think it looks great.
This really is almost a full-time job, being the entertainment chairman, which you've learned in your first year.
Sure, it is a year-round job.
It is.
Where, already now I'm working on next year, so it's certainly one that through the Strassenfest weekend and throughout the year, it's ongoing, constantly contacting artists and seeing their availability and negotiating, their booking fees, things like that. So
now, before we go into the actual entertainment this year, what are some of the things that you're looking for when you're trying to book an act or a band or whatever it may be with the Strassenfest?
So you want something that, of course, it's going to try to be appealing to a large number of people. Of course, not everyone can be entertained by everything, but you want to appeal to a large number of people. But then, also you want to make sure that this is a family-friendly event. So you want to make sure that they're not too inappropriate, even outside or even within the beer garden. And then for me, it's definitely like a stage presence. Anybody can play.
Yes. There's that charisma, that stage presence that you're looking for.
Exactly. Anyone can play Sweet Caroline. I want someone that's going to amaze me with the stage show that they're putting on, and that's going to really make the crowd enjoy what they're seeing.
Factor.
Exactly. Fortunately, in the age of YouTube, it's a lot easier to kind of gauge those types of things.
I know back in the day, they literally had to go see these bands live, which you still do.
Absolutely. I still try to catch as many of these artists before I book them as possible. But
it makes it a little easier these days than the old days where you had to
absolutely
either take their word for it or see them live.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the event. Again, a lot of returning favorites and a lot of new.
Absolutely. As far as returning, in the beer garden, we've got the Alpen Echoes for their, I think they've been coming since the mid to late 80s. So they've been a mainstay staple. And then, of course, we got the Chardon Polka Band, who is just, they're a blast. Every year they come and down in that beer garden, it's a party. As far as other returning acts, though, we've got the Celebration Singers always kind of starting off the entire Strassenfest on the steps of the courthouse. We've got Grandview Junction over at the Jasper City Mill tomorrow. We've got Wade Baker down at the Riverwalk Gazebo again on Saturday. The Recycled Teenagers. There's a lot of returning acts that people really seem to enjoy. So always want to bring them back and give them the opportunity to entertain the locals.
Thursday, tonight, opening ceremony, 6:15. A lot of special things planned.
Absolutely. There's a couple new events we got lined up. We got a maypole dance. The Jasper Theater Group is doing some really cool acts for us. I think it's going to rejuvenate that opening ceremony, and hopefully a lot of people will come out and experience it.
You got Nick Dittmeyer and the Sawdusters on the West Stage.
Yes. Out of Louisville. Nick's been around here a couple times.
He's played at the Gaslight a few times as well, and they're very talented.
Sure. To me, Nick is one of the best songwriters in the Midwest, so I'm really excited to have him up here.
Again, that's going to be on the West Stage. I also have the guitar pull going on and the log sawing contest, which is a crowd favorite.
Yes. I'll say that I tried my hand at the log sawing contest once a few years ago, and I have vowed to never attempt that again.
It was embarrassing.
A little bit. Not sure how you guys do it, but
Alpine Echoes, the Chardon Polka Band in the beer garden tonight, as always, entertaining the crowd. They do such a fine job. But that's for Thursday. Now, when you get into Friday, and especially on Saturday, it is all day, all stages, all the time.
Yes. I mean, tomorrow on Friday, starting at 5 o'clock, we've got On the One, which is a great little variety band from Wade Baker, where they're playing all types of music. They're over at the West Stage. On the main stage at 6 o'clock, we've got Brandon Baggett, who's going to be doing some comedy and magic to kind of lead us into our headliners of the night, if you will. Where on the West Stage, we've got the Mild Thornberries, who are a really fun 90s style cover band. And then on the main stage, we've got Simply Elton and Simply Billy, which, as the name suggests,
we're looking forward to this.
Is a pretty cool Elton John, Billy Joel tribute type show where they've got costumes and just the whole get up. It's going to be really awesome.
Elton John and Billy Joel, that is your headliners on the main stage on Friday. Then we move to Saturday, which bright and early, all day long.
Bright and early. I mean, starting out on the West Stage at 8:30 a.m., we've got the folks at Fit Together Group Fitness. They're putting together a couple of little workout routines.
That's my mom. Shout out to my mom. Love you.
Yes.
Love you, Mom.
They've got two different events. They've got one called Transform and one called Sport. So those that of us that spend a little bit too much time in the beer garden, we can try to work that out in the morning on Saturday after the wet loft or however we do it. But then, going throughout the day, we've got Sparrow and Crandall along with Wade Baker down at the Gazebo during the Arts Fair and Wine Festival. Along the Jasper City Mill, we've got the Major Minor Duo. Over at Schrader Complex, we've got the Vintage Baseball guys back again.
That's always fun.
Yeah, they've got some new ideas that they're throwing out this year where they're showing like 3 different styles of baseball rules over the 100 and however many years that baseball
I know the one thing that people always talk about is back in the day they didn't have gloves. If you can imagine catching a baseball without a glove on, I don't know how these guys do it, but it's a fun to watch.
It is, and we're so happy to have them back. But then going back onto the square, starting out at noon, we've got Brother Son over on the West Stage. We've got Jeff Kelly and the Graveyard Shift, a really cool band from Indy that I think people are really going to dig. Over at the Astra, of course, there's the free movie E.T. that the Next Act and the Arts Center are putting together, and I think people are going to really enjoy being able to check out the Astra free of charge.
Yeah, and if you've not done so, they did an amazing job in there.
It's incredible. Going down the line still, we've got Strings Inc. on the West Stage. Narrow Path from Redemption Christian Church are going to be on the main stage at 2:30. I already mentioned the Recycled Teenagers are going to be back. And then as we get into the evening, we've, of course, got the talent spiel, which is always great to see,
Put on by 18 WJTS.
Yes, of course. And then our headliners for the night, we've got Danny Elmar, which is based out of Indianapolis, but Danny Schaust is actually from Huntingburg, so it's going to be really cool to have her down here. She's got a really unique sound. And then to close out the night on the main stage, we've got a bit of a party with Tony and the Tan Lines.
Tony and the Tan Lines.
Oh, yes. They play all of the best music from around the time when the Strassenfest first started out, so it seems appropriate to have them bringing that party here to us for the 40th.
It's going to be a lot of fun there, so definitely don't want to miss that.
Absolutely.
The big parade on Sunday, probably the biggest parade in the entire area, bar none.
I mean, the Optimist Club does a great job with that parade, and we're excited to be a part of it every year.
Now, one of my favorite parts of the Strassenfest, well, obviously besides the food,
naturally,
the beer garden, the food, the parade, the food, but is Sunday night, is the fireworks display.
Yes.
It is such a great way to close out the Strassenfest. And it is put on by the committee itself.
Yes.
You don't shoot the fireworks.
No,
the professionals handle that.
We hire some professionals for that, but it's always a great way to close it out. Around 10 o'clock, rain or shine. I mean, we'll go out with a bang, quite literally.
That'll be on Friday night. One definite thing that we want to talk about is the talent spiel, though. That's on the main stage.
Yes,
that's the marquee event there.
Without a doubt.
WJTS. First of all, you filled in for some pretty big shoes and really knocked it out of the park.
I mean, I can't begin to appreciate the groundwork that Gary and Marcia put down for me. So it's definitely been a lot easier thanks to them.
Did you realize what you'd gotten yourself into?
Not until about a month ago. And then I was like, well, It's going to be a long weekend, but it's going to be very rewarding, and I can't wait for everybody to appreciate what's
Can we
what
get a
got.
hint, maybe a little teaser of what you're looking at next year? Anything you can let the cat out of the bag? I know it's early.
It's very early, and I'll tell you that I don't have anything yet, Ty. I'm sorry. I'm focused on this weekend.
You heard it,
solely on
ACDC
this
next
weekend.
year at the Strassenfest. You heard it right here.
Maybe.
Heath, thank you so much for stopping by, and of course, we'll see you out at the Jasper Strassenfest tonight.
Appreciate it, Ty. Thank you.
That is your entertainment chairman, Heath Klimper, with the Jasper Strassenfest. Stay tuned. Strassenfest Live continues on 18 WJTS and 100.9 FM WBDC. All right, welcome back to Strassenfest Live here on 18 WJTS and 100.9 FM WBDC. I want to apologize ahead of time to those of you listening on the radio. You won't be able to see what's happening here. I'm joined in the studio with the chairman, Mr. Mike Ackerman, again, and our queen this year, Hannah Rydberg. And for those of you here, it's a spoiler alert here on the radio, we're going to polka live, I guess? Things are getting a little crazy here at the studios.
Absolutely, Ty. So this is a German fest. A traditional German dance is the polka dance. So I'm going to teach our queen how to polka this
I'm going to
morning.
learn this along the way
And
here.
when we're done, I'm going to need you to tap me out and take your turn, all right?
We'll
here
see
we
about
go.
that.
So
Okay. This
it
is
a 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
For those of you listening on the radio again, this is a, I don't know, I think if I could give play-by-play here, I think Hannah's schooling Mike here. The whistle polka.
You can polka anywhere.
That's pretty good. This is live TV here. I can tell you that much.
Hey!
All right,
Thank you
let's
so much,
thank you.
Ty.
Thank you.
This has been so much fun to be able to do this. Thanks again.
Now,
Sure.
Hannah, I expect to see you get better and better every year.
Oh yeah, hopefully. Hopefully I'll get better by the
Is
end of
that was that your
the
first polka?
Well, my grandma has me
Okay, her
polka every so
grandma.
often, but she always schools me, so it's hard to beat her.
All right. Well, you have been watching a live polka dance here on 18 WJTS. Unless you were listening on the radio, then I apologize, but I can tell you they were pretty good.
Well, imagine that it was the best, right?
It was the best ever. We'll be back with more Strassenfest Live here on 18 WJTS and 100.9 FM WBDC. Welcome back to 18 WJTS for Strassenfest Live here, and also for those of you listening, 100.9 FM WBDC. We were talking about our giant buttons this year, which are new because this was the very first Strassenfest 40 years ago. Had a small and a large. So they brought the large back. That's what we were talking about there.
And it even blinks
before we
if
go
you
in.
look close
It does.
enough.
It blinks. I don't know if you can see that. Mine's blinking.
Nice
but it is.
blinking ruby because 40th anniversary is the ruby anniversary.
I know, and I spent 2 days after purchasing this wondering, why a ruby? And then I realized that it means 40 years. You learn something every day. Heath's back in the studio here along with our queen, Hannah. And finally, we want to talk about the events. We've talked about the entertainment. We've talked about the food in length, which I love. Also, everything else going on. But the events are really what makes the Strassenfest special. And there's really, not just in downtown Jasper, all the surrounding areas, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Sure. I mean, I will be the first to admit that Nick Hoffman is our events coordinator, and he has done a great job of making sure that everything is going smoothly throughout the weekend.
There's so much logistics involved in the events and the entertainment.
I tell you what, as much as I say entertainment is a beast to deal with, I cannot imagine how Nick does his job, because there's so many events throughout the entire weekend. And it's
Unfortunately,
incredible.
Nick got a call that he had to go. We weren't able to join, so he's going to fill in.
I'm going to
the
do my
role.
best. Don't
So
hate me, Nick.
We're going to talk about some of the key events for this year's Jasper Strassenfest. Obviously, we talked about opening ceremonies, which is tonight at 6:15, and a very special opening ceremony. A lot of new stuff to be added, and it's going to be more of a big deal. So definitely be there.
Absolutely. And even before that, we got the Children's Box Parade. That
Children's
kinda leads
Box Parade is always
directly into it. I mean,
great thing.
Yeah, if you're just hearing about it now, put together your favorite
Still have time,
box
just show
float. Registration doesn't start till 4:45, with the actual parade at 5:30. So
There's plenty of time to get a box.
absolutely, there's no reason you shouldn't be a part of it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Also tonight in the beer garden, after the opening ceremonies and everything, at 8 o'clock, we've got our annual beer stein holding contest.
Shout out to Jeff Siebert of Jasper, who I believe is the past champion. I think he's the reigning champion.
I believe he won 2 years ago. I'm not sure if he won last year, but he's always a contender, that's for sure. He never misses his chance, and he's always one of our finalists.
I had to give if anyone has ever done anything like that, don't think that because you're not a strong person that you can't do it. It's more mind over matter.
Absolutely. But don't think that we don't catch you cheating either.
Jeff Siebert.
Anyways, continuing on with the beer garden at 10 o'clock, we've got our chicken dance contest and our polka contest. So
Mike just taught you guys how to polka, so you have no
Mike just
excuse
taught us
not
how
to
to
be out
polka.
there.
there is no reason that anybody didn't learn from Mike and Hannah and they're making the best
But
polka possible.
you better bring your A game if you're wanting to win the polka, because there are some
competitors.
legends
Yes.
out there as far as polka dancing.
Ones who I don't believe have ever lost.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
And probably never will.
maybe the best chance is the chicken dance contest. But anyways.
Some other events going on.
Yes. So going on to tomorrow on Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning, we've got the Vincennes University Coca-Cola Hot Shot Contest.
All of us are very excited to get up for that tomorrow, so we better see you out there too.
So don't spend too much time in the beer garden. Or
That
maybe
sounds
just
made
don't
up.
sleep. Moving on from that, there's the quilt show at Holy Family going on from 10 to 5:30.
We got Select Boots open for lunch. I want to mention that again
Yes,
You
because
should definitely come out and get
especially
lunch.
for those of you that work in Jasper, and especially downtown Jasper, the chance to get some food and don't have to fight such the big crowds that you'll see that Friday night.
For
Or
sure.
just have more opportunities to enjoy that food, right, Ty?
Yeah, that's right. Big cookies.
The Kitty Tractor Pull is always a very cute event with all the children at 5:30.
Yes. There's the golf scramble at Buffalo Trace at noon on Friday.
5 o'clock, by the way, all the booths will open on Friday.
Yes, 5 o'clock. The Kitty Tractor Pull, Hannah mentioned.
Carnival rides going on throughout the weekend.
There's the Spirit of Jasper. There's train rides going on throughout the weekend, starting at 6 o'clock on Friday night.
Saturday is a huge day.
Saturday is our big events day. And my apologies while I sift through our booklet. We have these awesome booklets, by the way. If no one
Information
mentioned,
booth at the Jasper Strassenfest.
they're available that are just chock full of everything that's going on, so that you don't miss a beat throughout the weekend.
Backyard barbecue contest at 6 a.m. and some of those guys are there early in the morning. Just go over there for the smell alone.
It is it's dangerous for you and me.
It really is. It really is.
And then it's been going on since the first Strassenfest. We got the Wet Loft starting at 8 a.m. on Saturday.
So as Heath mentioned earlier, if you're like Heath and I and you spend too much time maybe in the beer garden or too many giant cookies or whatever it may be,
It's true.
there you go. You can work it off. Then you won't have to feel so
you
guilty.
can try.
We have
And as
we have a
Hannah
fix
mentioned
for
earlier,
everything.
I didn't know that. I forgot about this. Since it's nonprofits, you're basically donating to charity when you eat that much. So we don't have to feel so bad
That's
about
the way you
gorging
have to
ourselves.
think about it. You're donating and getting
Hannah
good
changed my
food
life.
for good causes. So you're doing the community a service by eating all the food.
That's a dangerous truth.
That is a very
Right?
dangerous truth.
But also, moving on through the weekend, we've got the plein air painting event going on. Is that back parking lot of Clubhouse 61? So at the Parklands, basically. Jasper Arts is putting that on. There's if you're artistically minded, if you want to get some beautiful painting in of our new Parklands, that's
Which is beautiful, by the way.
great
It is.
opportunity there. The Jasper RC Flyers are going to have some radio-controlled planes going on at the old Jasper landfill. There's a golf scramble at 8 a.m. again on at the Buffalo Trace.
Ty, you also have another workout opportunity with Transform by Fit Together Group Fitness.
That's my mom.
There's the Youth and Pilates. So there we go. We got another fix for you guys
Isn't your mom forcing you to be there, Ty?
She always does.
at 8:30.
Strassenfest bicycle ride is at 9 a.m. That's a new day and location. It'll be on 15th Street. There, the riders will start from the Parklands.
The Relay for Life Derby, Diaper Derby, all the littles will be there as well. The little Miss
The
and
Diaper
Mr.
Derby is
Okay.
a lot of fun to watch.
For
It's
sure.
been going on for quite some time, and WBDC Afternoon DJ Jenna will be hosting that, so or emceeing that. So definitely check that out. It's adorable. You definitely don't want to miss that.
And then over at the Schrader Complex, we've got the drive-in motorcycle show and the drive-in Jeep show. Across the street, you've got the antique farm machinery show. They're going to have a parade later on in the day with the antique farm machinery. Then at JC Park, you've also got the Jasper JC Car Show. I know that's a big event people always like to be a part of. Also over at Schrader Complex, you've got the very competitive WBDC Cornhole
and
Tournament
really the
of Champions.
headlining marquee event of the entire Strassenfest, and that's the WBDC Cornhole Tournament Champions, the largest stop on the 12-leg tour. You can pre-register right now by calling the WBDC studios at 812-634-9232 or going online, wbdc.us, for the WBDC Cornhole Tournament of Champions. That's going to be at the Schrader Complex, which is, I believe, the second year we've been at that location. Always a lot of fun. Come check it out, but I will tell you, there's some pretty good teams that show up for that.
Only marginally less prestigious is the annual Auto Loft.
I got it. Well,
A lot of people are
as
being very
the
competitive.
defending best decorated Auto Loft contestant from last year, for those of you that have not participated in the Auto Loft, if there is one event that I don't want you to miss, it's that one. It is an absolute blast. It is basically a road race without the race. You're given a sheet of paper.
A road scavenger
A
hunt.
road
if you will.
scavenger hunt is a better word for it, with clues. And using those clues, you got to find out where you got to go. Some people get lost. Some people take hours to come back. Some people don't come back at all. It is a lot of fun.
very
And I
intense.
highly suggest that if you've never, just get a group together, friends, family, whatever it may be, pack them in a vehicle and have a nice little leisurely drive through the countryside. It's just absolutely fun.
I've heard of a lot of competitive groups this year, so you
Some
may
people
have,
bring it,
Yes.
but whatever. We'll see.
It's very intense.
We got something up our sleeves on our team.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, moving onward. At 10 a.m. on the Riverwalk, we've got the art fair. Later on at the Riverwalk in the day, there's also a art and wine festival. So if you're one to take in again some more artistic aspects of the festival, make your way down to the Riverwalk.
Homebrew competition going as well.
Oh.
Junior Firefighter Challenge.
That should be very
Yes,
fun.
and the homebrew competition's over at Brew this year, as opposed to where the beer pong competition will be at Snaps.
Which is also a
It's
good
also
time.
a very competitive time. Junior Firefighter Challenge, which is also always real cool. I'm sure you've got some little ones that like to crawl through those firefighter obstacles.
We got the pet contest at 10:30.
I'm very excited for the pet contest.
Yeah, we have a chicken going to be wearing a German hat this year, as we heard
So you
earlier.
got to come out and see that, right?
Yeah.
I do like those extraordinary chickens.
Children's games, Das Kinderspiel.
Gosh, Kinderspiel.
That's been going on for a long time.
It is a yearly tradition. Highly competitive. I dare say even more competitive than the Cornhole Tournament of Champions. Some of those
It's
children
fighting words.
That's
are,
hard to do.
Well, we make your way out to both, and we shall see. We shall see. There's the Sheephead tournament going on in the beer garden. It's but it is all ages, so anybody that wants to make their way down to the beer garden at noon on Saturday can definitely participate in the Sheephead tournament. I myself can't say that I'm an avid Sheephead player,
I don't know how to play.
but I'm sure that there are some who do and some who excel and will.
Very cool. We've got a movie this year. We talked a little bit about earlier, but we got a movie at the Astra this year. They're going to be showing E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
For sure.
Yeah, the Next Act and the Jasper Community Arts came together to put this together, and again, it's very cool that they're opening that up to the public to, see this renovated space, be able to enjoy a movie in it, like I'm sure many of us have in the past. So
The Astra is such a beautiful place
it's
to be able
gorgeous.
to watch a movie, especially E.T. That's such a movie that you can
classic.
reminisce on and a classic. So it should be really
not
fun.
going to say that I don't cry every time I watch that movie.
It is. I don't remember it being
tearing
that
up right
sad
now.
growing up, but as I've gotten older, maybe I've just gotten softer because
That's
it's pretty sad.
more likely. And then, of course, the talent spiel.
Yes.
Very excited for
The
that.
talent spiel. It's the one may say the premier competition.
But as it's going on the other side of the stage, it's the street dance,
Ah, yes.
which I will be hosting myself because my mom makes me every year. And that's always a lot of fun, featuring the high school and the middle school dance teams, along with some Fit You will be there as well, and the elementary school dance. It's always a lot of fun. It's just an excuse to get out there and kind of get loose. And if you are heading to the beer garden later that night, do a little stretching.
Yeah, because again, polka contest, chicken dance contest, 10 o'clock. Don't want to miss them.
We've got so much stuff going on, and it's really not just in downtown Jasper. I said the Schrader Complex down there by the mill, down there by the Schaefer Barn. There's
Beeler
so much
Plaza,
stuff going
yeah,
on. Cabot O'Neill Gymnasium is going to be open up for open house as well. St. Joe's
Tower is going to be open, so you can get a really cool view of Jasper.
Yep, the car show over at JC Park. There's
Spirit of Jasper train rides as well.
yes.
Make sure you get your tickets online now because they sell out very quickly.
Yeah, very
so-
quickly. But it's definitely worth it. I think it's $10.
Oh yeah, and it's a beautiful train ride, back and forth, but it'll be a beautiful time and a great time to be in air conditioning during Fest and just kind of sit down and relax.
Which this year,
It's supposed to be beautiful.
it's going to be a beautiful. Usually it's really, really hot. Now last year was, I don't know
Beautiful,
what
too.
happened, but it's 75 and sunny, and at night you almost had to have a jacket on.
Yeah.
Knock
But
on
this
wood.
year, upper 80s at max, so
I
really
mean,
enjoyable.
knocking on wood, but it
Weather
seems
forecast.
like the rain is going to hold off
Yeah.
for
It'll
another
be
year.
beautiful.
It's going to be a great Jasper
And there's so much
Strassenfest.
live music. I know I'm excited for the Elton John
Oh, well,
tribute
all
band. I think that it's going to be fantastic, so you're definitely going to see me there.
Awesome.
See, he likes that.
I'm glad when people say they're excited for this.
For sure.
For the
Ruby
entertainment.
events look awesome throughout the schedule. If you go in, there's Ruby events that are marked that are special things for the 40th anniversary, and there's a ton of live music and bands coming, so you have an excuse to do something other than the polka, but come out and dance with all
So
of
when you
us.
stop by tonight, over the weekend, make sure you pick up one of these. You can really plan your Thursday, your Friday, and your Saturday, and even Sunday as well. Don't forget Sunday the parade, and some of the booths are open.
Yeah. Sunday you got the parade. Some of the booths are going to be open during the parade. You've got the celebration singers are going to be at Holy Family on Sunday night, and then of course again ending it all off with those fireworks.
Yes.
Over
about
Schrader
10
Complex.
o'clock over there, Schrader Complex. There's plenty of parking throughout the entire area there in Jasper to watch those, and it's a really a good way to send off this year's Strassenfest. 40 years, unbelievable.
It's incredible.
40 years this has been, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger and better each and every year. But before we go, I can't let you off the hook. Favorite Strassenfest food, and go.
Favorite Strassenfest food? Okay, I'm gonna have to say the blackberry cobbler from
Wow,
Trinity
that's a
Church.
different one. That's a new
I
one.
know. One usually is gonna say the cookie, maybe the elephant ears.
Yeah.
The cobblers are really good. It's a good way to mix it up.
Specifically the blackberry cobbler.
The blackberry cobbler there. All right.
I'm a fat man. What can I say? I'm sorry.
Me too. And I plan on being a lot fatter after this weekend. And really, in closing,
Diet starts
here-
on Monday, right? Right,
That's right. The diet starts on Monday. It is such a great time of year. I know all of us, and I can speak for everybody in this room, we look forward to this each and every year. It is a time where families and friends that don't live in this area anymore come back home to enjoy the Jasper Strassenfest.
Jasper's biggest party every year.
It is such a good time, and we hope to see you at the Jasper Strassenfest. 6:15 tonight, the opening ceremonies. We highly suggest that you stop by there because there's a lot of new things planned this year. They're going to make it a very exciting opening ceremony, a lot of cool things to witness as things kick off in downtown Jasper. 40 years of memories. The best is yet to come. The 40th Jasper Strassenfest kicks off tonight. Before we go, we want to thank our sponsors here on the radio for making this possible. Carpet Warehouse, American Dream, Montel Realty, Ernie's Sheet Metal, Industrial Tools, Sales and Service, Circle A and Ackerman Oil, Master Brand Cabinets, and Goodorf Supply. On 18 WJTS, we want to thank EJ and Dots, Ubler Developments, and their family of companies, Ferdinand Farmers Mutual, Bartley Hearing and Aid Center, Ackerman Oil, Circle A, Ubler & Sons Chevrolet, Jasper Lumber, and Remax Local, our sponsors for making this possible here. You've been watching and listening to Strassenfest Live here on 18 WJTS and 100.9 FM WBDC. For Heath, Hannah, and the rest of the committee that stopped by here, thank you guys for all that you've done to make this such a success. We're looking forward to it, and it's tonight, the 40th Jasper Strassenfest. This has been Strassenfest Live on 100.9 FM WBDC and 18 WJTS. Local people watching local people. We'll see you at the Strassenfest.